My birthday. Tell me about the time we found the pyramid.
I wouldn't. Not on camera.
That was in Honduras. J2902 was what the number they gave my pyramid in Honduras from what's that magazine?
National Geographic.
Huh?
National Geographic.
Yeah, National Geographic. When I found it, all I could give them was
A rock.
well, not a rock, but grid coordinates on a map.
Oh.
Because half of Honduras is not recorded. It's like a big empty space on the map, and that's where we were at. We were dropped in, and when we dropped in from a helicopter, we walked for many days, and we would chop our way through the jungle with our guide. And I don't know if the guy knew where we were going, but
Some guy, huh?
yeah, I hit what I thought was a big old thick line, and so I took a couple of good whacks. And the last one I broke through the line, I hit the rock, and sparks flew like crazy, And I went back like that just to make sure I cut the vine, and spark flew again. I said, "What the heck?" So the guy told me to stop, and he started whacking away, and this big old stone with a face on it appeared. And he said, "You just found a pyramid." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "Well, I've been opening these places for different guides, and you found one accidentally." And so he said, I'm going to report this." I said, "Well, I'll report it too, because I got a report where I had unusual experiences. If we find something, we'll call it in." So next thing I know, about a week later after that,
You guys were saying
the guide from
it was that, or something like that. You guys were making
the
expressions.
magazine that she
I
quoted
can hear the click. I can hear the click.
came through, and he asked me to guide him back to the deal. I said, "Well, we'll have to get a helicopter, and we'll drop off," because I had notes on my map what we found.
Did you not know your
And,
language?
Sure enough, he said he brought in a whole bunch of
People.
He'll take
people,
pictures
and they
randomly.
were chopped away, and they say that there was probably one of the second biggest in Mexico
7.
that I found, and I said, "Well, I don't know, because I couldn't see the sun."
De los Aztecas.
Yeah, well, they were, it was like
Yeah, look at it. It's like 9 pictures getting come
the
out.
vines and everything crossed, and you couldn't see the sun through that. You had
Was
to
it-
chop our way through.
Was it underground or was it just?
Well, the rock was above ground.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it couldn't be moved only by a caterpillar. That thing was big, and but being not experiencing in
stuff.
finding things like that, the guide said, "Hey, you found one," and they said, "Well, how deep is it?" "Well, it could be acres. All we have to do is just call the right people in." And so I let National Graphic know where it was, and I left the scene to them.
Make sure you get him.
The next thing I do is I got a card from National Graphic saying,
Here's your pyramid.
yeah, J2902. That's the pyramid that I found. And it's amazing because all through Mexico, from what was the name of the place?
Tenochtitlan?
One of those places, and there was another place. From there, they found over 150 or 160 pyramids in Mexico and South
All
America.
because you started the search.
Yeah, well, they said that they don't know how Egypt built theirs, but they had an understanding of how theirs was built here in South America.
Hundreds and hundreds of years later.
Oh, hundreds of years later. You know, one thing, like I told Chris, they can tell me the Aztecs lived here and the pyramids and the Mayas lived here and all that, but they haven't found a body. They haven't discovered a single bone that belongs to the Maya or the Aztecs.
Unless the ones that are buried in there.
Yeah.
In the
And not even
sarcophagus.
them are matchable to tell you it's a Aztec or a Maya Indian. They disappeared, and they don't know why the whole community of pyramids that they had from Mexico all the way to South America how they lost contact with them. It was because of jungle growth.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people say that there was a huge earthquake back then, which made them think that it was some kind of haunting, which they moved up or south. They think that they separated two colonies, which made them disperse. But some people say, but
nobody can prove it. You know, and then like the Egyptians record where their Valley of Kings are buried and all that, and nothing in it tells you what happened to the Maya and why they left, or the Aztecs why they left and fought the Spaniards and all that. That's the most interesting part of me. That it just laid there, you know.
you still think about it to this day.
Oh, if I had to retire anywhere, I would retire in Honduras. I mean,
You make it seem like it's too late.
well, no, it's just that
Rattlesnakes, gunfire. What do you think it takes to kill you?
bears and
Bears?
leopards,
Leopards. What? You got attacked by a leopard too?
birds, all
Falcons.
kinds of color of birds. It's just like you lost in
Can you
paradise,
zoom in?
you know. But there was bananas all over the place. There were pine just growing big around, and we would cut that for the water that we needed to drink. And it was cold and everything.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah. And the guy told us, just leave it alone.
Oh, look at
It'll
white
seal
screen.
itself back up. Instead of it being destroyed, we would cut at an angle so the water would come out and we could roll our hands up in the water.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then there was a big sea where we were at that came in from an inlet, and people ate fish like crazy.
Well, those streams are like untouched.
Yeah,
Like
beautiful
humans,
big
it's-
fish. I was excited. I told my wife that if I ever had to retire someplace that was peaceful and quiet, it would be here.
In the daytime.
During the daytime. There were coffee beans growing wild. They made tortillas out of mice, but it was corn.
Mice?
Mice?
Maize.
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 Oh,
Okay.
I heard mice.
That's what I heard.
And there were some of those too. But they didn't bother the camp.
No, I put her things on top of the table.
It's a video.
Oh!
Being recorded.
My wife from
She's too
Legendary
tired.
David Hammer.
The wife of Legendary. She is also a legend herself.
Putting up with it?
Whatever you want.
The neatest thing that I liked about the Honduras trip was that I brought everybody back without getting hurt.
Now, I was going to ask you that. It's a lot of wilderness, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of wilderness.
it's a lot of bigger animals, too. Not like we're used to here.
Oh,
Like
I'm telling you.
if you can,
Tell them about the snake already?
no, we had a python come into the tent, and this was a big
10 foot.
buster. Yeah, he was a big one. It took 7 guys to bring him out.
oh my goodness.
I mean, but they had to hack the head off, and he just twisted and turned and
Who was it after?
huh? Oh, they brought him out and they were going to throw him away.
Why?
And the Honduran army was about 3 miles further down, and they heard that we had a python, and they came over and wanted to have the python because they wanted to make soup.
That was fast, though.
For 125 guys plus our people, they were invited to go. So they cut the sucker up and made soup out of him. We had enough soup for 300 people. But it took 7 guys, armfuls, to pick it up and bring it out.
Whose camp was it in?
Ours,
No, but I mean, whose tent? Who was the lucky one?
we mixed enlisted with the NCOs and officers.
No, but I mean, it didn't sneak in anyone's tent or anything?
No, it took one tent all by itself.
Oh,
Yeah, and we had a weapons rack, and the weapons would be tied in with iron. Well, that rack, that snake moved it easily. I mean, from one end of the tent to the other. I couldn't even pick it up.
why would you want to?
We had to get the snake out so the guys could sleep. So the only way we could do that was to get them out quick.
But was it still moving? Because I had this one teacher that told me he had
They have reflexes.
he had a python that died because I think he had a weasel or something like that.